Thank you very much. So we have a new problem. I can just take one example of what happens in Switzerland. In Switzerland, the Swiss government chose our best schools, EPFL and EPFZ, to develop this application. Okay, that was right, because it's important that our best researchers can work on this topic, because we have sensitive data. But after having chosen these schools, there were a lot of questions. Why haven't chosen these schools and not other companies that were perhaps better and should have more medals to develop it quickly? And after we saw that in both schools we had researchers that hadn't the same opinion about security. That wasn't just little problems, but in fact, some people are telling us it's impossible to secure all these sensitive data, and others are telling us it's possible. So they are in perhaps just next desks. So it was for me the first time I see mathematicians or physicians telling me, okay, I think the risk is limited, and another one is telling me the risk is so high that you cannot use this application. So that was for me a new problem. And the second problem we discovered is that we are not ready. We are not ready to be able to have this application, even if we use the API from Google and Apple. Yesterday in Switzerland, the Swiss government has explained us that they were necessarily asking Amazon in Germany to help, because we have no infrastructure that was enough for them. But I don't think so. I think in Switzerland we have companies. These are critical infrastructures, and we aren't ready for this. So we needed to move forward really quickly, but we cannot miss it, because with these data, if you make it wrong and someone is accessing to these data, I was sick. So I know that for some people it's a big risk. They can die. And so at this moment there is a debate, but it's not a quiet debate. All the people are sure that they have the truth. And so we need to convince more than 55% of all our population. So I cannot say who is right or who is wrong. And that's for me a big problem as for the pandemic. So I think we have lost our ability to face such problems without the help of the GAFAs. So we need to ask them to help us, because we don't have any infrastructure. We have a lot of researchers that are some of the best in the world, but in our country now, we don't have any solution. At the beginning, our two high schools had in mind that they could develop it alone, and now we see that it's really difficult. So what I can say at this moment is that if we make it wrong, in each country, not only in Switzerland, even if what you choose as application, what you develop as solution, if we make it wrong, we have the most sensitive data that will be sent to, or they could be taken by hackers or by other people or other governments. You need to have in mind that in some countries, governments have decided to collect a lot of information about the pandemic, and because they want to fight it. That's normal, but even if they collect it, they will have databases that could be used for something else. And that means we are in a really risky period, not only for health, but for our personal data. And the people are ready to lose some of the liberties they have, because they are afraid of not be able to live anymore. And we should choose the right way to get all these interests together, to merge them, to minimize the risk, and to have one solution. The other problem is that with interoperability, we don't have solutions for other countries. If I have one solution for Switzerland, will it work with other countries? With GDPR, we have now a high level of protection of data in Europe, but not only in Europe, because it's applicable in other countries if you're working with Europe. But the applications are not, at the moment, they cannot work together. So I think my solution was that OMS had to develop now solutions over the countries that will be helpful for each country. Even if you don't have a lot of money, you should use it, because everyone is trying to work together on it. And these solutions have to be now tested for the future, not for only this pandemic, but for what could happen next. Because in each country, we have these problems, we have the same problems, some solutions, but we are not sure that it will work. And the other thing is that when you use a technology like Bluetooth for something else than it was developed, that means you haven't thought about the problem to solve before. And I was a little bit afraid, because in Switzerland, I have in mind that they speak about Swiss Finnish, you are better than others, but we are not better than others. We have seen it in this pandemic. We need to work harder together. And I think one organization like this organization, OMS, can do this job for the future, because everyone has to find a solution to minimize the risk, to find solution for health, and so that citizens can be sure that everything is done is in the right way now. Because if you lose the confidence at this time, you will have some problems. So solutions are different from a country to another one, but in Switzerland we speak about Swiss cloud. In other countries we speak again about Swiss cloud, and everyone is saying, okay, we don't need to work anymore with GAFA. Okay, that's I can hear it, but that's not the solution. Solution is to find the right way for all the countries to get access to information, securized informations, to defend the health of population, and to work together. That was, for the moment, not possible, and I hope that if we speak about it, we challenge some companies to find solutions, we will be able, in this end of crisis, I hope there won't be a second wave, to find the right way to go.